Using video games as an educational tool for students with disabilities. Educational video games have become a norm in many classrooms across the world, especially for use with students with disabilities. However, with every new classroom tool comes the controversy. Some teachers fully support this shift, while others believe that video games can be distracting or cause unnecessary competition. Initial research question: how have video games influenced classroom engagement and academic achievement in students with disabilities? Video games can help improve assessment achievement, assist in increasing student understanding, and be utilized as an alternative means for assessment, all of which work towards an ultimate goal of increasing engagement and achievement for students with disabilities. What does the research suggest? There are 4 main areas in which video games benefit student engagement and achievement: metacognition, increased collaboration, increased interdisciplinary and life connections, and increased academic achievement. Metacognition plays an important role in learning and thinking, and it has been shown that students with learning difficulties, as well as people with intellectual disabilities, have underdeveloped metacognitive skills. Metacognition and video games. Video games help students to support their own thinking. They also increase problem-solving skills and provide opportunities for immediate feedback, which results in critically thinking about mistakes. They also encourage students to be more intentional when planning and executing thoughts and ideas. Video games can be used to create a classroom structure that allows for more engagement and collaboration among peers. Video games for increased engagement and collaboration. Video games create a dynamic learning experience to meet the needs of diverse learners. They also provide opportunities for alternative assessments. And they can encourage peer collaboration in multiplayer modes. They also encourage self-driven learning. They're naturally scaffolded for learning, and they incorporate technology and other student interest. When using video games, students make connections between the virtual world and their life and coursework. Video games and making connections. Video games help students make connections between games, between peer gameplay, to real-life scenarios. They make literary connections. They make connections across content areas and concepts. Studies found improvement in post-test scores when implementing video games in the classroom. Video games and increased student academic achievement. Students were more prepared for review sessions when using video games in the classroom. They had a greater understanding and retention of information. There was improvement in word recognition, rapid naming, spelling skills, and phonological skills. Mathematics, science, and literary understanding increased. And it provided an alternative means of assessment for truer assessment results. Why do educators need to know this? Understanding how and why video games can be helpful for students with disabilities helps validate and encourage the use of video games, a potential interest for students, into the classroom routine in an effective and meaningful way. Now let's see some video games in action in my field research.
I usually play this.
Okay, so what do you do for color switch?
So you have to get it. So if I get it in the color, I get the star, and then you gotta go. If you die, then you have to restart.
Okay.
But then you can beat your record, and if you get it, if you go farther enough, then like you can switch colors.
Oh, very cool.
I switch yellow. I have to get it in yellow now. I can beat 2, or I can just keep going.
So tell me a little bit about this one.
So you have to do, and you have to. So you have to get all the stars, and then you gotta make it. You gotta make it into the hoop.
Okay, so you have to make the correct angle.
Yes, to get it in.
To get it in.
So if I don't like that, then
It goes over.
But if I just do that, then it goes in. But some of these are really hard.
So it's tricky to get it at the right angle. Plickers is a game in which students use different cards as almost like a paper controller, and it allows them to answer multiple choice as well as true-false questions. The nice thing about Plickers is it presents itself to students as more of a game rather than an assessment, so they tend to really enjoy it. The other nice thing is that it is extremely customizable. The teacher can put in whatever content they want or need to assess students on, and it works right with the students' cards. Prodigy is a really popular math game that teachers are using in the classroom right now. It allows you to completely customize the math that it's testing based on your student's particular level. It also allows for different hints like it's showing right now. The ultimate goal for students when they're playing Prodigy is to answer the math questions correctly. This way they can defeat their opponent. Prodigy also has a feature in which students can see the correct answer once they've made a mistake, so it allows them to see where they went wrong. Another nice feature in Prodigy is that it has scratch paper built right in with multiple colors for students to use. This enables them to see their work right next to the problem right on the screen. And it's really helpful because their answer is right there and they can type it right in underneath. Prodigy works great for progress monitoring because all of the questions that the students answer are automatically uploaded to the classroom site so that teachers can check and see how many questions they are getting correct, how many incorrect, and what they tend to be struggling with. Thank you for watching my presentation on video games as an educational tool for students with disabilities.